July of 2018 was when Tokyo Ghoul finished serialization, officially marking the end of Tokyo Ghoul as we know it, written and drawn by Sui Ishida. Fast forward to 2021 and a new manga series will soon begin publication, after some speculation within the community as to when information about the author/artist's following work will be unveiled. Art for a brand new character was released, involvement in a game was announced, and in November of last year, a panel for his new manga was shared on social media, bringing back the darkness and serenity before the upcoming storm that the mangaka is so well known for. Sui Ishida's upcoming manga. Very little is known currently regarding Choujin X, translated into English Superhuman X, outside of what we've been given, the picture and the short announcement by Ishida himself. Of course, it didn't take long for speculation to fill out the air and spark a wildfire of numerous theories and possibilities as to what the story could possibly be about. Honestly, I was just happy that an artist that I respect so much was back doing something that, in later years, has taken so much out of him, both physically and mentally. It seems he's found his passion and motivation once again, especially when you take into consideration his plans to create a series similar in size to Part 1 of Tokyo Ghoul, a story that has as many moving parts as his last work, only in a more condensed package this time around. The picture embellished in grey paints a similar tone as its predecessor. Superhuman X may not end up being as dark or personal, but there's no denying the melancholy is there, and that it's going to be a major component present in its DNA. Sufferance made previously a great video dedicated to this topic, analyzing and theorizing what the title itself could mean. He mentioned an aspect that could play a major part in the overall story and theme, that being the metamorphosis and evolution into a transcendent form of self, maybe regarding seemingly the main protagonist in the image, or maybe more characters inside the plot. It will certainly play an interesting parallel to Ishida himself, and his own personal journey creating the storylines that are about that struggle path into one's self-betterment. Superhuman X could shape and expand that previous theme, prevalent in Tokyo Ghoul, more specifically in Ken Kaneki's character arc, and make it its sole focus. This new protagonist's own goals and motivations could directly be tied to the themes that the title implies. Maybe the end goal will be becoming God, or maybe something far more sinister. It's no big secret that Ishida was inspired in many ways by Franz Kafka's stories, such as Metamorphosis, especially when you consider how even more literal the parallels became in the final arc once Kaneki transformed into dragon. I could see him carry out certain key ideas and concepts from that and draw inspiration from other sources with different kinds of symbolic meaning, as Sufferance mentioned in his video. That's what made the author's writing stand out so much, that attention to detail and hidden meaning that elevates his storytelling. The possibilities are endless really, especially when you have an author with a unique and layered vision. This is also a different initiative from the one we grew familiar with starting back in 2011. A more experienced version of the author that has learned from his weaknesses and highlights, and found renewed energy. His art has changed and refined in the span of 8 consecutive years, until finally settling on the art style that we're now most accustomed to. Imagine the panels we will get now, with Ishida at the height of his powers, especially when you take into account what he was able to accomplish before, on a tight schedule and added pressure on top of that. We'll get to experience a stronger art piece all around from the mangaka, with a more focused and polished look and feel to it than before, gathered from his experience working in the industry. For instance, instead of a panel brimmed with sadness and chaos, a raw look to the character's portrayal, harmony and serenity fill the image, another possible hint to this idea associated with the title. His writing and general structure to the plot will be more polished, more organized, and better handled. I've also read other theories concerning the secret identity of his new manga series. The fact that Choujin X's story could take part in the same world/universe as Tokyo Ghoul, where ghouls inhabit the world alongside humans. It goes back to this general crave of fans who want to see more from this series, whether in the form of spin-offs or sequels. Personally, I don't think that's the case. Part of what's exciting about this new project is the fact that it's something new, something detached from previous works. I don't think Ishida would have decided to both draw and write again this soon after everything is mentioned in the past regarding his process in creating Tokyo Ghoul and Tokyo Ghoul Re, if this was a mere extension of that. Even though he was grateful to the fans, to the success they brought him in this series, his creation, it also caused him genuine pain. Yes, he finally took some time to rest, and if things go according to plan, he won't have to spend a similar period of time with no real rest or breaks, fully giving his body and mind to one singular story. But at the same time, wouldn't it be more gratifying to have the mangaka write and draw something that challenges his skills and explores different ideas altogether? I definitely can't wait for that. It's difficult to guess a genre or a particular kind of storyline on the mere basis of a singular concept of art, name, and a small announcement by the author. What is the creature standing next to our main character? What is its nature? Maybe a demon, perhaps a more monstrous and abstract form of an angel, perhaps something entirely new and alien, a being from a different world that has come to Earth. Something that I've seen very few people point out in his afterword for the final volume of Tokyo Ghoul, Ishida himself mentions that he planned out a science fiction driven story, a war story. Maybe this is that story, or at the very least an extension of that. The only reason it didn't come to fruition was because he personally felt he didn't have the necessary skills to do it properly back in 2009 when he was thinking of presenting a storyboard to Shueisha. Maybe now he decided to finally make it a reality. It will certainly be very interesting to see what he can do inside the genre. Sui Ishida is an author whose work has shaped me in many different ways. A lot of the themes he tackled in his story hit incredibly close to home. A lot of the characters he brought to life and whose struggles, dreams, aspirations, and insecurities were put on the forefront, they were all just too relatable, and the way he was able to portray all of it altogether was simply inspiring for me to create my own stories. Especially after reading his afterword once the series was over, I couldn't help but to sympathize and see myself in him, in so many ways, as he recounted his own past experiences and journey leading up to his first major serialization. Superhuman X doesn't need to be another Tokyo Ghoul. It doesn't need to live up to any kind of expectations set by the series that came before. It doesn't need to be better or worse, or up to par. It just needs to be what Ishida makes it out to be. As long as the honesty and genuine care is still there, that's all that matters. At least to me. Before I go, allow me to read an excerpt taken from Sui Ishida himself. My mistakes, struggles, the little bit of success I had, make me who I am. If I can accept who I am now, that will mean accepting all of my past. All of my failures still live inside me. If I'm happy now, it's because of who I used to be, and of course, who I am now. I can't accept everything, but I kinda like who I am. That's not so bad, right? Thank you all for watching. If you're new to the channel, thank you for dropping by. And if you're curious about seeing more or by keeping up to date with the most recent releases, drop by the main page or follow my Instagram account. Links in the description. Stay safe and well, and I'll see you in the next one. Ja, matane.